And a tackle coming in there from the Latvian left winger, Andres Ciganics, puts that ball out of play. So it is a throw into the Republic of Ireland. Matt Doherty holding on to the ball, and of course with the armband this evening, he said during the week when Stephen Kenny asked him or told him that he was going to be the captain, came as a bit of a surprise, but he did call it a great honour for him to captain the team for the very first time. Seamus Coleman, the man who normally would have the armband, on the bench this evening. Ball is being played back now to the veteran goalkeeper Steinbors for Latvia, 37 years of age, and one of several RFS players in the squad. Made his debut, interestingly, under Marian Pahars, the former Southampton player, when he was managing Latvia. Another Southampton link there, of course. We got Gavin Bazuna, the current Southampton goalkeeper, on the bench for Ireland. And then Will Smallbone on loan from Southampton at Stoke City at the moment. Michael Ovafemi, of course, came through the ranks at Southampton and is now at Burnley on loan from Swansea. As we see Nathan Collins coming through midfield here, and we know he can be a bit of a danger man coming out from the back. And the ball has gone out for a throw into Ireland on the left hand side. On our near side here, Callum O'Dowda, wearing number 3 tonight, who has become more of a left wing back at Cardiff City when he first came through the ranks with Ireland as an under 21, or on the right wing or the left wing with Oxford United as well, before he made the move to Bristol City. And he is now at Cardiff after being released by the Robins last summer. It's with Omar Bamidele in the centre circle in the Latvia half, out right to Matt Doherty. Doherty now inside to Malumbi. Rain still coming down on the Aviva Stadium pitch. It's with Dara O'Shea. O'Shea plays it forward to Brown. Brown goes back to Collins. Collins anchoring the back three tonight. It would, of course, normally be John Egan. He's on the bench. So Collins anchoring the back three with Dara O'Shea on his left and Bamidele on the right-hand side. Still hasn't really got back his regular place in that Norwich City team, Bamidele. He's made 6 starts and 5 sub-appearances since coming back into the Norwich team after a bit of an injury spell out at the mids or sort of early in this season, and came back into the team in December. Here is Callum O'Dowd on the ball, deep in his own half, plays a right-footed ball up the line looking for Ferguson, can't hold on to it, ball spills away. Callum O'Dowd tries to play it down the wing, but it comes off the Latvian right back Arthur Zinjund, actually central midfielder I should say.
It's a deliberate handball, isn't it? Really stuck his hand up.
Yeah,
Stephen Kenny was on a little go with the referee, one on, right in front of his face as well. The referee's been a little bit lenient so far. A couple of 50-50 challenges let go. Nathan Collins, with one particular, went on one of those mosey runs that he does, even considering the fact that he's playing central of the tree. It's not going to stop him from getting forward, but got himself forward. 2 or 3 players nicking at his heels and didn't get out for it. So could be one of them nights, Stephen. It's windy, it's wet, there's been a few short passes and a few hard tackles already early on in this game. There hasn't much happened since, but got to be careful as well considering Monday.
Yes indeed. Omar Bamidele on the ball now, plays it inside to Collins, and Collins then out to O'Shea. O'Shea back inside to the back three anchor. Looks like more of a 4-3-3 there for Latvia this evening. Seem to be suggestions it might be a 4-4-2. Here is Malumbi now receiving the ball from Collins, plays to Omar Bamidele, makes a run down the right hand side, gives it to Doherty. Doherty then comes in off the flank and then plays the ball inside to Collins. Collins on the halfway line here, very central, outside to O'Shea. O'Shea has a Latvian player in front of him, comes back inside to Brown. Brown then back to Collins. Collins forward to Malumbi, has to chase after this, gets it away to Ferguson. Ferguson now breaking forward, he's got Smallbone to his right and Matt Doherty. Doherty gets there, picks the ball up near the corner flag, it's back inside to Smallbone. He'll play it across, and it's a header for Callum O'Dowd, and it's a goal for the Republic of Ireland. What a superb move.
Yeah, Republic of Ireland just taking the lead at the Aviva Stadium. We're going to get Steve and Stewie back online in a moment's time. Just at the moment that the Republic of Ireland had taken the lead against Latvia in this friendly game, which has started very, very well for the Republic of Ireland as they warm up for their game against France next Monday. That's going to be a much more important fixture. But Ireland taking the lead at the Aviva Stadium, just 7 minutes played in the game, and it has come from Callum O'Dowda, who's been in remarkably good form at club level throughout the year. He has been entrusted with a different role for this game, playing at left wing back, but Callum O'Dowda putting the Republic of Ireland in front just 6 minutes into the game against Latvia. So it continues that good run that the Republic of Ireland teams have had. Ireland going 1-0 up. Mick McCarthy's here with me as well. This is a pleasant start for a young team, which will maybe lift some of the nerves that they've had coming into this.
And not a pleasant surprise that we're here talking about it instead of Steve and Stewie, who I believe shouted so loud that they cut the electricity from the Aviva Stadium.
Yes, I believe so. I think we basically heard O'Dowda, and the next thing...
Surprised the floodlights survived it.
Yeah, Steve likes to get animated during the commentary.
And rightly so. And to be honest, we were only we were chatting away and thinking we're ready to go here and watch a little bit of the match, and we hadn't even got around to it yet, and we just heard Steve scream.
Which was a good indication for getting ourselves set up with the screen in studio. Got to see O'Dowda's goal there. It's been a very good start from the Republic of Ireland so far, and we're ready to go back over now to Stuey Byrne and Stephen Doyle.
Thank you very much, Will, and I think we might have got a bit over exuberant there, but seemed to be an issue with the line. Thankfully we're back, and we did get to bring you a bit of the Callum O'Dowda goal. I was about to say that Will Smallbone, the debutant, putting the cross in, and it was a brilliant run by O'Dowda, it has to be said, and very calm and composed header, Stewie.
Yeah, well, if you want to know what happened, I'm afraid we'll have to tell you on another occasion. It's not one for Under the Watershed, but it's a good story. Look, it's a wonderful move, and it came from Nathan Collins, and I think Evan Ferguson involved dropping in deep and working the ball wide to Matt Doherty. What I thought was really good when Matt Doherty just clips it back on the pull back to Smallbone. I love this in the player. Doesn't hesitate, just clips it around the corner, but he dinks it. He puts it into a really good area. You've often seen players sort of clip them and get cut out at the front post, but he's just put it into such a good area. And O'Dowda, I mean, just found himself in centre forward position, real anticipation, got himself on the end of it, the back of the net, and it was quite easy from that point of view. It was a really good play from Ireland, came out of nothing, but a fantastic start.
So Callum O'Dowda gets his first international goal on the night of his 26th cap. The man who has been playing so well for Cardiff City this season. He's got 3 goals and 3 assists in 34 appearances in the Championship this season since moving to the Bluebirds on a 3-year deal after being released from Bristol City. And I should actually clarify, it was Matt Doherty, wasn't it, putting the final ball, Smallbone, to him. But a wonderful move, as Stewie was explaining. Here's O'Dowda on the ball now. He's going to make a run down the left hand side. Can he beat 2 Latvian players? He does. He gives to Michael Obafemi, takes it on the half turn, but just that little bit of control got away from him, and Latvia clear their lines. But it's back now with Omar Bamidele on the halfway line. Plays it out right to Doherty. Doherty now advancing slowly down the right hand side. He's got Smallbone ahead of him. Smallbone drifts out there sometimes and plays it to Doherty, flicks it inside now to Ferguson. Ferguson running towards the byline, but he's tackled well there by Tobers, the centre half, and it goes out for a corner kick to Ireland. After 10 minutes, they are leading by 1-0, and a corner kick now to put in and put this Latvian defence under real pressure.
Yeah, it's a really well timed challenge, wasn't it, from Tobers, under real pressure. Good little interchange between Ferguson and Matt Doherty, little 1-2 around the corner, and Ferguson looking to open his legs. Towers had to come in inside the box, needed to get it right. Last ditch tackle. And Ireland certainly putting Latvia under real pressure now. Corner.
It's going to be a left footed corner from the far side off to our left. It's going to be swung in by Callum O'Dowda, the goal scorer. Michael Obafemi near post. There's about 4 or 5 green shirts in there waiting for it. Headed down by Collins, but then Latvia head that ball away. It's been picked up by Jason Malumbi. Malumbi tries to clear, but that's a really good tackle by Ikanukas, the Latvian winger, who puts that out of play. So it will be a throw in to the Republic of Ireland.
Yeah, so Towers is down, is it? That was just from that earlier challenge on Ferguson.
Yeah, just bent over there.
Yeah, you had to really stretch for it, Stephen. It was one of them, the long stride from Ferguson. He really had to stretch for it. Looks like he's going to be okay.
So there's just over 11 minutes or 10 minutes plays, I should say. It is a throw into Ireland here with Callum O'Dowda just inside the Latvian half. Ball over his head. Running to him is Brown. Brown receives it, plays it with a right foot back to Dara O'Shea. O'Shea on the edge of the Irish box in front of Caoimhín Kelleher, who has been selected to start tonight ahead of Gavin Bazunu, who has been a regular starter for Southampton, the first choice since signing for them at the start of the season. Caoimhín Kelleher, as we know, has been playing reserve to Alisson for most of the season at Liverpool, and is going to be leaving Anfield. He has been linked with Aston Villa, but I'm sure there will be a few clubs in for Caoimhín Kelleher as we see Ireland going to the attack through the middle of the field. Latvia have got it back, but they've given it away to Omar Bamadelli. He plays out right now to Matt Doherty. Doherty just turns and looks ahead, then jogs forward. He's got Smallbone ahead, Brown to his left. Brown gets the ball, goes back out to Smallbone on the right hand side. He's going to put a cross in here, and it just comes off the toe of Ferguson. He tries to poke it back then to Callum O'Dowda. That ball has been played out of the Latvian box and picked up well by O'Shea here. He read that really well as Latvia tried to play that ball out. The ball now with Omar Bamadelli receiving from Ferguson. Plays it forward to Obafemi. One touch pass to Smallbone. Lovely flick from him outside to Matt Doherty. He tries to cross it, but that's a good block by the Latvian left back. And it goes out for a throw into Ireland. Doherty take it really
real
quickly.
Zip to the game, Stephen, isn't there, as well? That early little burst of rain has put a real pace on the pass, and I have to say I'm very impressed with Smallbone so far. Some really lovely round the corner passes. His delivery for the goal was excellent, and he's really stepping up. It's a huge difference in this Ireland team, especially when we start well. If we can get an early goal, the confidence really kind of goes throughout the whole team.
Yeah, he made 5 underage appearances, 18 and under 21 level under Jim Crawford, who obviously would have a good close relationship with Stephen Kenny, the senior boss, and I'm told that all the messages were good through that particular communication line, and he has of course made himself a real mainstay in the Stoke City team on loan from Southampton, where he had made 16 appearances in the Premier League. He had been pushed out, I remember commentating on some of the Southampton games, he had been pushed out to the right hand side as well as playing central, but he's played more as a central midfielder with Stoke City this season. But tonight we've seen him playing through the middle and drifting out to the right, and as Stewie said, some lovely touches by him. Here's Malumbi on the ball though from the halfway line, chips it over the top. Ferguson takes on the outside of his boot, just doesn't come off properly for him, but he holds onto the ball and then plays it out to Smallbone. Smallbone back to Ferguson. He's on the corner of the box here. He's going to have a shot in his left foot, and that one just goes over the bar. He didn't really set himself properly for that shot, and it goes well over the crossbar.
Sign of his confidence, isn't it, really, at the moment, Stephen? The fact that he's even took that on, nice little change of Smallbone, taking it back. He's all but probably 20-25 yards out here, just shifts it onto his left foot. There's only one thing in his mind. He's trying to swerve it with the left foot into that far corner. Made a hames of it, but it doesn't look too uncomfortable. He'll get back on the horse again.
Still fresh from those 2 goals for Brighton on Sunday, helping them to get through to the FA Cup semi-final, their first since 2012, and where they will play Manchester United. That's going to be a big game for them, and you wouldn't put it past them to get to the final, where they could face either Manchester City or Sheffield United. And of course there is some Irish interest there with John Egan captaining Sheffield United to that win against Blackburn Rovers in the semi-finals on Saturday. The ball's gone all the way back to Caoimhín Kelleher. Short roll out there to Collins to O'Shea. O'Shea plays it forward to Brown back to O'Shea just back on the ball again. You can see the centre backs, no fear there in passing through the Latvian lines as they try and pick out a midfield teammate. Ball now with Doherty, but he's tackled well there by Sorokines, the left back, and it goes out for a throw into Ireland. 15 minutes on the clock. It is the Republic of Ireland 1, Latvia 0.
Loading that central area. Sometimes it look like they're playing with even 5 in midfield, trying to block all those challenges, specifically into Malumbi and Brown, trying to force Ireland to go wide. Good pressure from them, although a little bit passive at times, but Ireland could be playing themselves into a bit of trouble here. Caoimhín Kelleher's dealt well with that under pressure.
Yeah, he was getting pressure there from the Latvian striker Gutkovskis, who was just pressing him there as he received the ball, but he hit that out with his left boot and cleared it well.
Nathan Collins just a little hand up to apologise for the back pass to Caoimhín Kelleher. That might be our only trouble this evening, is that we cause our own trouble really, but so far so good. Possession's been good. I'd like to see us moving the ball maybe a little bit quicker, taking a few more risks possibly. See Ferguson's trying to drop in and get more involved, allowing Michael Obafemi to kind of play that on the shoulder of the 2 centre halves.
Here's Omar Bamadelli. out right to Jason Malumbi. Malumbi puts that out to Doherty, who was almost going out of play. Doherty scrambled back and gave the ball to Bamadelli, and then it's back to Kelleher. Kelleher plays it out to Collins, surrounded by 3 white shirts, but he gets it forward to Jason Malumbi. Has space to run into now. He's on the halfway line. Doherty calling for the ball. He goes outside to Smallbone, who's outside Doherty. Doherty makes the underlapping run now, but Smallbone continues, gives it out to Doherty, puts the cross in towards the back post, over the goalkeeper, played in by Michael Obafemi, and Evan Ferguson has scored his first goal for the Republic of Ireland senior team from close range. It was an easy tap in, but a brilliantly worked goal again by Ireland. A bit of good fortune I should say, with the cross. Michael Obafemi keeps it in play, but there's Evan Ferguson to tap that ball home, and on the night he makes his first start for the Republic of Ireland senior men's team. The Brighton sharpshooter Evan Ferguson has given Ireland a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, well, a little bit similar to the first goal, Stephen. I think Latvia got caught trying to squeeze us high up the pitch. 4 or 5 players completely taken out of the game by Nathan Collins. Pass through to Jason Malumbi. Once Malumbi finds himself in the middle of the pitch, he's got all about 50-60 yards, got to drive into, and he walks the ball wide, little dink ball into the back stick. You're suggesting that Obafemi might have been off the pitch?
Just looking at the monitor, he might have been out of play,
because he's the one that plays it back into the path of Evan Ferguson. The keeper gets a touch on it. We don't know, Ferguson, ever the prowler, right place, right time, tap in for him. But
now I say a tap in, Stewie,
it's all about being in the right place.
Exactly, and he's really physical in the way he gets in there ahead of the defender who's trying to slide in against him. But that's brilliant stuff for Evan Ferguson. I'm sure once you get your first goal, it just will fill him with confidence going into the next.
Especially considering the build up to the game as well, Stephen. It'd be nothing worse than this to be a 0-0 draw for the first 70 minutes and people are getting groaning and griping. And
well, I mentioned John Aldridge, didn't I, before the game? How long was it? 19 games before he got his first international goal. And it's I remember as a kid myself watching Johnny Aldridge and thinking it was going to go on forever. He eventually got it. But a man, of course, who scored 8 goals against Latvia, Evan Ferguson, makes his first appearance against Latvia and gets one himself. So 2-0, and we've just passed the 18-minute mark. Here's Matt Doherty on the ball on the halfway line, coming down the right hand side, plays it inside to Obafemi. Obafemi has looked really lively and had to be lively to get back and keep that ball in to set up Ferguson for his first international goal. It's Callum O'Dowda keeping the ball in play here, and 3 headers to keep it up in the air. Tries to get around the winger Savelnieks, but Latvia have won it back here. Savelnieks plays outside to Juzins, and then it goes out of play for a throw in to Latvia.
What's been interesting, Stephen, is both goals have come from the right hand side, and Matt Doherty, it's for the first time in a long time. You know, sometimes when you watch Matt play, he looks to be quite isolated sometimes out on that far right hand side of the pitch. It's crying out for somebody to give a big 70-80 yard diag out to him. He sometimes he can find himself a little bit isolated, but Smallbone is playing much closer to him now this evening, and both goals have effectively come from that position, and they both come from interchanges, either from Smallbone picking it up, giving it to Doherty, or vice versa.
Here's Latvia now on the attack. It's with the striker, and he's just had a shot that's come off the outside of his boot. Gutkovskis, he was in a lot of space in the box there and went to hit it on the volley, and it just skewed off the outside of his right boot. The rain perhaps not helping him there. Slippy boots, goes well over the bar, and he's made
a aim to this, Steve. It's a great chance. It's on his favourite right foot, I should say. I know it's bouncing, but he's got to hit the target there. Just get it down, hit the target. Ireland just fell asleep. Long ball over the top, and he's nearly found himself in one-on-one with Kevin Kelleher.
Yeah, plays for Rakov, and in Poland in the top flight there. Scored 7 goals in 23 games. Gutkovskis, and scored 5 goals in their last UEFA Nations League campaign in 6 matches, so definitely knows where the back of the net is. Here's Matt Doherty to Smallbone, back to Doherty. They're just inside the Latvian half on the far side of the pitch there. Over the top here from Doherty to Obafemi. He's got to pull that back for Ferguson, just goes over his head. Latvia cleared away, and urged to shoot here is Matt Doherty. Dribbles towards the edge of the D, ball is poked away from him, but Malumbi's got it back for Ireland. It's outside now to Smallbone inside to Obafemi, back to Smallbone, and then back to Malumbi. Malumbi just surveys the options around him, gives it to Bamadelli. Every man in the green shirt is in the Latvian half. All in purple is Kevin Kelleher, the only one in an Irish jersey back in his own half. Here's Bamadelli outside to Doherty. Doherty inside to Smallbone, and Smallbone goes back to Malumbi. Malumbi to Collins. He's just in the centre circle in the Latvian half. Gives it to O'Shea. O'Shea outside to O'Dowda, and then it's back to O'Shea, and then across to Nathan Collins. Ireland just holding on to possession here, probing, waiting for a gap to open up in this Latvian midfielder defence, but Kukowskis has won that ball back. He's taken it off Jason Malumbi, and they go on the attack down the left hand side. It is with Chigagniks, and then the ball's being crossed in but headed away by Dara O'Shea. Latvia have it back though. It's on the right hand side. The ball with Savelnieks, puts the cross in, and that's a first time shot inside the area that's gone way over the bar, and it was a decent effort by Uldrikis, the other striker for Latvia.
Do you know, when I came in, Nathan, I was thinking Collins is definitely going to get there ahead of him. Collins, what is he, 6'2", 6'3", but we look at Uldrikis, he looks like he's 6'4", 6'5", and those big long legs came out just stretching in front of him. Got a half decent connection on it. That's one of them that can kind of go in the corner or go over the bar. Lucky for us, it went over the bar.
6'4" as it happens, Nathan Collins, big lad.
Then Uldrikis is 6'5", is he?
Nathan Collins,
just going back,
coming from a good stock himself, cherry orchard man, like his dad David and Uncle Eamon. Here he is on the ball once again. Plays out right to Matt Doherty. Doherty tries to skip past the challenge, but he loses out. Smallbone picks up the loose ball, does really well, and goes back to Oma Bamidele. He plays it inside now for Collins. Collins advancing forward towards the halfway line. Tries that through to Michael Obafemi. Lovely pass from him outside of the boot to Alan Brown. Alan Brown edge of the box, has a shot. Goalkeeper spills it, but then gathers it second time, and that wasn't really a convincing shot by Alan Brown, who we know can score goals. And from that type of area there, just on the edge of the box he was, and he hit it right along the ground, and it made it an easy save for the goalkeeper.
Does everything right, doesn't he, Alan Brown? Even the pass into Obafemi, a little one around the corner, the run was perfect, the pass from Obafemi was perfect. It just looked like he wasn't settled. Brown snatched it at maybe a little bit the last second, needed to just guide it into that far right hand corner, and just came across a little bit. Easy save for the keeper.
Ball now with Dara O'Shea. O'Shea plays it forward to Ferguson. Ferguson's dropped deep here on the edge of the box are Obafemi and Smallbone. Ball is with Malumbi though. Oma Bamidele comes forward, plays out to the right hand side to Doherty. Doherty now advancing towards the box on the right hand side, plays the ball into the box to Ferguson. Ferguson turns, puts the cross in, and he actually hits the side netting there, and he was under pressure by the Latvian defender, and he's won a corner kick out of that. Good pressure again by Evan Ferguson inside the box. Matt Doherty with a lovely ball through to the Brighton striker, and it results in a corner kick to Ireland in the 24th minute. They're leading by 2-0.
Yeah, looking at a really confident Matt Doherty so far. He got the captain's armband, and he's certainly playing like the skipper's role so far. I think he's been excellent, especially that interchange with Smallbones. A lovely little outside of the right pass through to Ferguson. Good movement from the big man. Corner Ireland.
And from the far side once again, but Smallbone takes it. He'll whip it out with the right boot, and it comes off the head, I think, of Alan Brown there, but we'll have to see that in the replay. It was so fast and it went over the bar, so it will be a goal kick to Latvia. Before we do, I just got to mention as well, Michael Obafemi, he looks really lively out there as well, Stewie. Nice little tricks and flicks in and around the box. He's bringing players into play, and he's popping up everywhere, left, right and through the middle.
Yeah, I think it also helps that Nathan Collins is playing centrally. I think every time Nathan gets steals 10 or 15 yards, he's probably looking to pick out Obafemi. Obafemi's very good at sort of dropping into those central areas, and he's got good runners off him as well. It was previously Alan Brown, and so it always helps, makes up your mind for you, helping around the corner.
So it's Latvia now with the ball in the Irish defensive third. Kukowskis has to come deep, and he loses the ball after a tackle by Malumbi. Brown picks up the loose one. He's almost running into trouble in his own box. He's given that ball away. Latvia on the attack here from the edge of the box. It's Uldrikis has to pass that back, and then the ball goes out to the right wing for Chigagniks, and he can't collect that ball before it goes out of play. So it will be a throw into Ireland. It was in fact Savalnieks, and he loses out, and it will be a throw into Ireland deep in their own half. Callum O'Dowda, the man who scored the opening goal in the 7th minute, with the ball in his hands. If you have just joined us, O'Dowda scored, I should say, in the 6th minute. The cross from Matt Doherty. O'Dowda rushing into the box to head that ball home, and then Evan Ferguson scoring his first international goal on the night of his first start with the pass from Michael Obafemi to keep that ball in play. We thought it might have gone out, but that's how it stands with 26 minutes now on the clock. Stephen Doyle here alongside Stuey Byrne. Live international football on Off the Ball. We will of course have the Republic of Ireland versus France Euro 2024 qualifier on Monday night, live on Off the Ball as well. I will be myself and Stewie again on the microphone. We'll have Joe here as well at the stadium for a big show on Off the Ball next Monday. Here's Aviva on the ball for Ireland. Plays it inside to Collins. Collins then to Darragh O'Shea. O'Shea now just striding forward. Has to check his run. You can still see some faded markings from the rugby pitch that was here on Saturday, of course, for that Grand Slam win for Ireland against England. I know Stephen Kenny was talking about trying to channel some of that those good vibes into this performance tonight. Here's Will Smallbone pulling the ball back into Michael Obafemi. He's in the box, does really well to protect the ball, leaves it there for Doherty outside the area. He gives it to Brown back out to Smallbone on the right hand side. Ball into the box for Doherty now. He's at the byline, tries to pull it back. It's over the head of everybody in the box. Callum O'Dowd has a shot, stings the palms of the veteran goalkeeper, who had to get down on his knees. And O'Dowd a shot with his left boot. Did really well to get it on target, but just couldn't get it past the goalkeeper. Corner kick to Ireland.
Now Ireland at the moment looking like a serious team. I'm not too sure whether it's down to the quality of ourselves or maybe Latvia are a little bit poor. I'd say it's a little bit of both. Certainly movement is really good. Got to keep going back to that Doherty and Smallbone combination. It's working out really well in this first half so far. As a corner from Ireland, Smallbone to deliver. Near
side, he will swing this one in. It's towards the back post. Collins is up there and he just can't get it down. Comes off the top of the head of the Wolves defender, and it goes out for a goal kick to the visiting side.
He got a shout, didn't he, from Darragh O'Shea. Smallbone just hangs it up there. You can see Collins is about to jump and he just kind of pulled it at the last second maybe. O'Shea got a good leap and got a good run at it. Disappointed with himself, didn't do better with that.
20 Premier League appearances this season for Nathan Collins, but of course he did fall out of favour there after that 3-0 defeat to Manchester City in January, and he was an unused sub then for 5 matches following that result. He has come back into the reckoning a little bit under the Spanish boss Julen Lopetegui. Has played in the last 3 games. He was a half-time sub in 2 of those, and slightly shorter amount of time in one of the other games. But Wolves in a bad run, 4 defeats in their last 6 matches, and I'm sure Nathan Collins would like to get back into the starting team and try and reverse that form for them.
You mentioned the appearances, Steve, and even Darragh O'Shea, as he played over 20 games so far, whatever. I mean, everyone's played
Collins,
games.
You mean, sorry?
Collins, apologies. And when you look at the numbers and the appearances for all the players, with the exception of Creevy and Kelleher, maybe everyone's playing football, and with the game against France coming up, the start of the qualification, how many times have we said in March that we've little or no injuries? Everyone's ready, everyone's fit, they're chomping at the bit, and I think that's evident tonight as well. I think everyone's really trying to put their best foot forward to get a place in that team.
It's Ikanyeks for Latvia attacking. He's into the box and he's lost the ball. Darragh O'Shea clears it, comes off the Latvian, and then falls kindly to Callum O'Dowd, who tries to clear it, comes off him once again, and out for a goal kick to Ireland. Creevy and Kelleher will take this, of course, and we're just approaching the half-hour mark. It is Ireland 2, Latvia 0, and I suppose, as you'd expect, Stewie, with a friendly match, crowd a little bit subdued. We were talking about earlier the pre-match music that the FAI play is it's pretty good. It really gets the atmosphere going, but as you'd expect with a friendly match, I think it's going to be a really different prospect on Monday when we're taking on the World Cup finalists.
Yeah, there's an air of anticipation about Monday, isn't there, really? And I suppose tonight is really the start of it. I mean, I certainly feel like it's been nearly a year in the wait. We've been talking about France for a long time, and we've had a World Cup since, and there's been a lot of good news around Irish football, not least the emergence of Evan Ferguson, but shouldn't always be about him either. I mean, this really is the opportunity for this Irish team to move forward under Stephen Kenny. Very, very, very difficult group, but taking into consideration the game on Monday, I mean, people are going to argue, is it the right time to play France? I'm not too sure, but it's at home. It's a great chance for us to really great chance to get a win and get 3 points on the board and give us that wonderful stepping stone once the summer comes around.
Kelleher now with the ball in the box, plays it out to Aviva Stadium, and and he's got Matt Doherty to his right hand side. Instead he goes left, gives it to O'Shea. O'Shea outside to O'Dowda. O'Dowda into Alan Brown. Plays the ball immediately back to O'Dowda down the left hand side. It's a great ball, just about stays in play. O'Dowda now gets forward, pulls it back for Smallbone on the edge of the box, but it goes behind the Stoke City man. Doherty picks it up, tries to give it back to Smallbone. Smallbone was waiting for Doherty to make the run, but that meant that he didn't get the pass to his man and went to a Latvian player. But Ireland have it back. It's now O'Shea. O'Shea getting forward. He's on the edge of the area, leaves it there for Smallbone. Smallbone has a shot with his right foot, and it was on the outside of the boot. He's trying to get it into the top corner. He almost did. It just went off target.
Do you know, he was so casual in how he hit it, Stephen. I thought this was a miss kick, but he knew exactly what he was doing. And that is really, really close. He kind of cuts across it. He's able to generate so much power from such a short backlift. And he's so casual in his body language, but he caught everybody out.
Will Smallbone making his debut tonight, and a very accomplished looking player he is. 23 years of age. And qualifies for Ireland, of course. He came through the ranks at Southampton, but his mother Mary is a Kilkenny woman, and I'm sure she will be here tonight and very proud watching her son making his debut in green.
I don't know whether such is his quality, Stephen, but Matt Doherty has just looked from every time he's gotten the ball, looking to play little 1-2s off, and they're really enjoying themselves out there so far.
Here is Collins on the ball, edge of the centre circle, just inside his own half. Gives it to Bamidele, back out to Doherty, who just has his pocket picked there. And Latvia now all of a sudden on the counter attack. It's Sorokins, and he plays that ball inside. And there's a shot from distance, and what a goal that is by Robert Uldrikis. He's hit that from about 25 yards with his right foot after Matt Doherty made the mistake, and he rifles that one right past Caoimhín Kelleher, who had no chance of saving that. And after 33 minutes, it is the Republic of Ireland 2, Latvia 1.
Now, when you mentioned Matt Doherty getting his pocket picked, he's put under real pressure here. I think Matt Doherty's trying to hook it around the corner with the outside of his right foot to Smallbone, as we mentioned, but he's got his pocket picked, as you mentioned. Thinking Mike Siganickas, good pressure, closed down the pass, and then once Uldrikis picked us up, how far is he out there, Stephen? It's all about 35 yards, I'd say. Even not too far off 40. It's a hell of a strike from the big man. There's nothing Caoimhín Kelleher can really do about it. He's put that right in the top corner. And this can happen. This has tended to happen to us in the past, where we've been in control of games and all of a sudden these worldies come out of nowhere. What do you say, really? It's a wonderful strike. He's all but 40 yards. It's a long time since I've seen a goal like that from such a distance. It's a quality strike in Ireland now, and just need to kind of maybe pick up the pace again, trying to get the crowd back on side.
Well, Robert Uldrikis, one of the few players they have playing overseas, plays for Cambuur in the Netherlands, and scoring his 7th goal there for Latvia on the night of his 37th cap. And what a goal it was. 6'6", Robert Uldrikis, and he really hammered that one past Caoimhín Kelleher. I'm sure he'll be quite frustrated, maybe that there wasn't somebody closing him down, but he wasn't alive to it. Matt Doherty did speak though as well during the week in the build up to, or I should say actually it was yesterday's pre-match press conference, that he just needed a game like this just to get the energy back into his legs. And of course he hasn't had much game time since leaving Spurs, who cancelled his contract.
One game, has he, Stephen?
One game as a sub against Sevilla in La Liga, 14 minutes of action. But here's Callum O'Dowd, or Alan Brown on the ball now, back inside to Jason Malumbi, and then it's given to Bamidele, back inside to Malumbi. Just the two players exchanging passes here. Then it's given to Doherty on the right hand side. Doherty back to Malumbi, and now it's with Brown to Ferguson. Every time he picks the ball up, doesn't matter how far from goal he is, he shapes up the shot, but instead he decides to give it to Obafemi this time, and then it's back to Brown, and Brown across to Doherty, who's still out on that right wing. Smallbone makes the run out there for him. He picks the ball up and puts across in with his left foot. Callum O'Dowd heads it down into the box looking for Obafemi, surrounded by two white shirts. And he says there's been a handball there. The referee says no. Ball has gone out of play. Obafemi pleading with the referee. Referee Andrei Chivalute from Romania.
I'm going to call this from up here, Stephen. I think this is a handball because he just sticks his arm out. Have a look at it again. A little nudge of the arm. There.
Oh,
he's definitely handball it.
100%.
To see it from up here, you know, it's one of them where if you keep your arms down by your side, it doesn't hit you, but he's just shifted his arm, caught him in just above the elbow. Oh, it's just perfect view from there. I think the referee has missed that one.
He sure has. O'Dowd on the ball now. Gets to the byline, pulls that back. And he's put the cross in. It goes right across the box and out to Matt Doherty on the far side. Doherty's got Smallbone to his right. Ferguson just ahead of him. He gives it to Smallbone. And then it's back to Bamadelli. Just plays a left-footed pass out to Doherty on the right-hand side once again. Latvia all defending really deep here. Every player behind the ball in that defensive third of the pitch. The ball's with O'Shea. O'Shea back to Collins. Collins across to Bamadelli. Out to Doherty on the right-hand side once again. And Ireland, as Stewie was saying earlier, going down that right-hand side quite a lot this evening. Probably 2/3 of the attacks. The odd time they go down the left-hand side without doubt where the ball seems to be going now. O'Shea's got it on this near side on the halfway line. Exchanges passes with Collins. And then goes back to the Wolves man. And he's about 30 yards from his own goal here as he gives it to Bamadelli. And then it's back to Kelleher. Creedon Kelleher has a look up. Plays a long ball up for Ferguson. Just over his head. And as Latvia try and win it back, Smallbone comes in, wins the ball back in midfield. And it goes back to Bamadelli. Here's Malumbi. Malumbi then to Brown. Brown back to Collins. Still in the Irish half here. O'Shea to Brown, and then back to Collins. Ireland zigzagging across the pitch here in their own half before Bamadelli hits a lovely pass out to the left hand side to Ferguson. Just got out really well there by Balladis, the centre half, but Ireland have it back. Alan Brown now advancing towards goal. Obafemi has it inside the box, hits it with his right boot, comes off the sliding defender, out for a corner kick. And you would think that if Obafemi had hit that just a little bit quicker, he might have got that shot away, but it was a lovely pass by Alan Brown to pick him out in the box after he made the run forward.
Yes, I know this is the number 5, not too dissimilar to Tobers earlier on in the first half. Just having to get that last ditch tackle. Just feel the pace from Brown into Obafemi needed to have a little bit more on it, because you could see Obafemi wanted to go across his path, and he's waiting to pull the trigger. The defender just did well to get a last ditch tackle block on it.
Corner from the far side, Smallbone outswinger from the right boot, headed by a defender, goes up in the air and is claimed by the goalkeeper Steinbors, and it will be he who gets that ball back in play once again. So Steinbors throws that ball out to the left hand side. Smallbone came in, almost nicked it off Sorikins, the left back, who now advances over the halfway line, and it's still Latvia in possession here. It's been played out to the right hand side, and the right winger Savalnieks tries to make the run, but a ball goes out of play over the byline for a goal kick to Ireland before he can get there. So 39 minutes on the clock. It is still Ireland 2, Latvia 0, or 1 I should say, as we approach half time.
They're giving it a go, Latvia, but you have to say they do lack a lot of quality, with the exception of the goal, which is an absolutely outrageous strike, world class. Looks to me like they're quite passive in how they're closing down as well, not putting us under huge pressure. I think possession wise we've been decent on the ball. We've created some good opportunities. I just think it's one of them games, Stephen, where if we get a little bit too comfortable with the amount of possession that we have, we're likely to kind of give away a sloppy pass, and it's kind of what happened for the goal. Here's another
ball given away there by Ferguson, this time to Uldrikis, the man who scored the goal, and it's now in midfield with Chiganics, and then he leaves it there for Juzins. Ball played forward here to Uldrikis once again. Big 6'6" man. It's just so hard to take the ball off him. He's got good control, but the ball's being played back now to the right back, Balladis. And Balladis gets forward to the halfway line, tries to chip it over the top. Darragh O'Shea read it well, heads it down to O'Dowda. O'Dowda gets forward now on the halfway line, gets to Ferguson. Good one-touch pass by him back to Malumbi. Malumbi now outside to Doherty. Doherty advancing down the right wing, just in that inside right channel, gives the ball to Smallbone in the box. He tries to pull the ball back, and a good block there at the back makes it another corner kick for Ireland on that same far side down to our left. Inside the last 5 minutes of the first half, Smallbone to take.
Yeah, there's that Doherty Smallbone interchange again. Smallbone just making a run inside the defender. There's a nice little pass from Doherty, I have to say. You know what Smallbone's trying to do. He's just trying to dink one back on the cutback, isn't he? Soronikins did really well to get back and defend. Again, another corner to Ireland.
Smallbone to take it. Outswinger once again. Goes over Ferguson's head. headed away by Jusins, and then Callum O'Dowd tried to pop it back in from the edge of the box. That goes out of play, so it will be a goal kick to Latvia. Stephen Kenny did say they were a kind of team that play on the front foot. They like to attack. They were top of their Group D1 in the UEFA Nations League last year with 13 points, just finishing out of Moldova by virtue of their better goal difference. They scored 12 goals in 4 victories and 1 draw, just conceded 5. So while it was a lower standard, you can see that they are a side who like to attack, as Kenny said yesterday.
Yeah, I think even looking at their last 10 games, I think it's 1 loss in 10, which is quite impressive. When you compare it to us, we've lost 4 out of 10. But when you look at the quality of opposition that they played against, there really is there's no comparison.
Yeah, they're trying to play the ball into the box here. It's headed away by Collins and lands at the feet of Jusins. He tries to dribble into the edge of the area, but Obafemi gets the loose ball, gives it to Brown. Brown just whips that ball out with his right boot. Nobody up there to get it, but perhaps the best choice there really with so many players around him.
Do you know what I think he was trying to do, Steve? I think he was just trying to catch it on the half volley, and he was just trying to ping it into that corner, hoping that Ferguson might just spin. Because if he had he had a little look over his shoulder, there was the whole half behind him. He was marked quite tightly. Number 21 for Latvia was quite close to him. And that might be one of those things where players are just trying to get used to each other, trying to get on the same wavelength. It's actually quite interesting. Been having a look at Ferguson in this first half, and there's been 4 or 5 occasions where we've worked the ball either down the left or the right hand side, and Ferguson has this real canny knack. His movement is really, really good, but he has this canny knack of just ending up just in and around that penalty area every time the delivery comes in, and it just isn't quite right, like, you know. So maybe it's one of them where you kind of have a word with someone saying, look, I'm always here, I'm always there, whatever the case may be, and just a matter of getting used to his movements, his quirks, and where he's going to end up.
Well, I haven't seen him since he played in the flesh, I should say, since he played for Bohemians, with whom he made his first appearance in senior football. That, of course, against Chelsea in a pre-season friendly match.
Probably got a hat-trick that day as well, did he?
He didn't, but I tell you one thing,
did he stand out,
14 years of age, he really did, playing against Chelsea that day against a team of really proper Premier League pros. But he went on to make then 4 appearances for Bohemians, 3 in the Premier Division against Derry Harps and Finn Harps, I should say, in St. Pat's, and 1 FAI Cup appearance against Dundalk. And he definitely looked the part then, and it is good to see him now, as you were saying, when you see him in the flesh. We've had to watch Brighton, of course, on the TV all the time. When you see him here and you watch his movement, his little flicks, his little one-touch passes, just really, really superb.
I think it's his all-round game, Steve. You know, he has that ability to get himself into goal-scoring situations, as we already know. He's already gotten his goal, but he tends to hover in and around that sort of just at the edge of the D, along the edge of the box. And you're always looking to get on the half turn, and when he gets turned, he's looking to play, he's looking to link up. He's really quick in his mind how he works. His decision making is really good. Long
ball up to Obafemi. He tries to get up to head that down. It's bobbling around the Latvia box here. Smallbone almost latches onto it, and then a header back from Sorokins to his goalkeeper Steinbors, who has to dive to his left to stop that ball going out for a corner kick. He just throws that ball out. We're approaching the last 30 seconds of the first half. Ireland leading by 2-1. And there's been a foul by Jason Malumbi here, and it's on Uldrikis. Jason Malumbi giving away a lot of height in that particular battle. 5'8" against the 6'6" Uldrikis. And we know Malumbi can be one of those characters who gets I was just looking, 5 bookings.
I think he's been hard done by Steve. I think he has a little tug out of Malumbi here first. Look, he's got his arms around him. I think the referee needs to see that.
Yeah, and he didn't really do much when he threw the hand back. There wasn't much in it, but I should apologise to Jason Malumbi there, but it is worth watching. 5 bookings in 13 competitive matches for him. It's one of those things that he needs to sort in his game. Rob Harvey, the 4th assistant, puts up the clock, and is going to be 1 minute added on at the end of the 45. Rob Harvey, of course, League of Ireland referee, was in charge of Bohemians UCD last Friday night, and doing the necessary here this evening for the 4th official duties. Collins heads the ball out as the free kick comes in. And then a shot from Jusins on the edge of the box, and it's gone out of the hands of Queeveen Geller, who got down. It came off his gloves and into the back of the net. It is Ireland 2, Latvia 2, and that's a dreadful mistake, you'd have to say, by the Irish goalkeeper. He just looked like he wasn't focused on what was going on. Jusins came in, has a shot from the edge of the box with his left boot, and it flies in off the gloves of Keller and into the back of the net.
it's one of them where we look like we're kind of head tennis. Collins get the initial header. Then when it comes in, I don't know whether Brown and O'Dowd get caught between the two. They get caught up with each other. I think it was O'Shea and O'Dowd get caught. Who goes and heads this clear? It's kind of an awkward one where it's only just bouncing up around chest height. Neither of them get any kind of tax on the header. And it falls to Aldricus and he just buries it through everything. I think Caoimhín Kelleher will be disappointed with himself. I think he needs to do better. It's straight at him really. It's one of them where he's a little bit confused on whether he does he stand up tall, use the foot, does he get down low and just try and poke it away with the hands. He's gone down with two hands, I think there might have been a little tiny deflection as well as Eugene shot went in. But it'll be a disappointing one for Kelleher, who I suppose would be regarded as the man behind Gavin Bazunu in the pecking order, and has a chance there tonight. And unfortunately for him, he's seen two go behind him or beyond him into the back of the net. And we're just past the halfway mark, or half-time mark, as we see a foul here. And this time it's O'Dowd colliding with Gudkovskis. Yeah, a little bit needle coming into the game now. I think we spoke about the fact that the pitch is quite snappy and the ball is moving. There's a few little sort of late challenges, late little niggly things going on, but obviously Latvia smelling themselves a little bit now after just pulling themselves back into 2-0 down to 2-all. Ireland are going to wonder how we've given away 2 goals, but it is our Achilles heel, Steve. We've done it. We've certainly done it on regularly in the past where we've done well and we just kind of out of nothing took our focus off the game a little bit, and all of a sudden 2 wonder goals in this particular occasion has got us back to 2, or got them back to 2-all. Yeah, it's disappointing. It's taken a bit of the sheen off the fact that Evan Ferguson scoring on his first start for Ireland. Just quickly before we go to the break, Stewie, you're looking at the bench there, and I suppose there's some players that would be regarded as perhaps starters for the match against France on Monday night. Which players are they, and who do you think we might see in the second half? Yeah, I think you're looking at the obvious ones would be Cullen, wouldn't it, really? Ogbene possibly. Look at how Smallbone is playing this evening. I think he's been excellent, especially with that partnership that he seems to have struck up with Matt Doherty. But certainly Ogbene, Cullen and John Egan would be the 3 for me that are probably looking to come in. You might see them come on quite soon in the second half, and maybe Ireland can try and finish with a possible 11 that could start on Monday. Yes, indeed. Well, there is still 45 minutes to go. Plenty of time for Ireland to get back in front of Latvia. It started so well. We thought the floodgates might open up here this evening at the Aviva Stadium, with the rain just stopped as it was coming down earlier in the game. But Callum O'Dowd is scoring after 6 minutes, getting on the end of a Matt Doherty cross inside the box. 1-0 that made it. And then Evan Ferguson, on the night of his first international start for the Republic of Ireland, after 17 minutes, put the ball home from close range to make it 2-0. But Ireland have been scuppered here by 2 excellent goals, it must be said, from Latvia. Aldricus scoring the first from about 35 yards, and then Caoimhín Kelleher with a bit of a mistake, but he can blame his defence a bit on that one as well. Juzine's coming in to score the leveller in added time. And that's how it stands at the half-time break. We'll go back to the studio and it is Ireland 2, Latvia 2.
Yeah, my thanks to both Stewie and to Stephen for their commentary in the first half in the Aviva Stadium. Back in plenty of time for the second half. Ireland 2-0 up inside 17 minutes. Again, it was kind of a characteristic goal against Ireland. The first one, a long-range strike, beating Caoimhín Kelleher. He'll be very disappointed on the Juzine's goal, even though Alan Brown probably should have got the ball cleared before that. Went straight through Caoimhín Kelleher. It is 2 apiece at the break. We're going to take a very short ad break. We'll be back in a moment.
Football on Off the Ball
with Sky. Watch Premier League, Women's Super League, EFL, Scottish Premiership and much more live on Sky Sports.
Moncrief. Tomorrow we'll be broadcasting from the Guildhall in Derry City, so make sure to join us between 2 and 4 p.m. That's with thanks to discovernorthernireland.com. Choose your next giant adventure and embrace the warm welcome of Northern Ireland. Moncrief. Weekdays at 2 p.m. on News Talk.
We've tracked down Super Shepherd Hugh Sheeran to ask him about his great shave.
I only use de facto shaving oil. I get a close, smooth shave, no bumps, burns, nicks, and it hydrates my skin. Plus, it's made with all natural ingredients and has far more shaves than an aerosol, and the packaging's fully recyclable. Try for yourself. Available in pharmacies or visit defactoshave.com. Use the code SHAVE10 and get 10% off online. Now, I'm off to shave the world.
Defactoshave.com. Sheer brilliance.
Imagine Imagine carefree days by the ocean. Days where you don't have to worry about a thing while you snuggle up in your Trump Dune bag suite and watch the waves roll in. Let the wind take your breath away as you stroll on Duckmore Beach or ride on horseback alongside the wild Atlantic Ocean. Escape to West Clare. For our best offers, visit trumphotels.com/Ireland. Trump Dune Bag by the ocean.
From stimulating growth to succession planning, we know private business leaders have a lot on their plate. So at PwC Private, we're growing our business to help you grow yours. We're not new to private business, but we might be new to yours. Now with 20 partners and over 150 experts to support your ambitions, find a dedicated private business team built around you. At PwC, it all adds up to the new equation. See pwc.ie/private.
What makes a home? The solid foundations that it's built from? The people and company that it keeps? Begotten and born, grown and left. Some since past, others yet to come. And what if the emotions invested within its walls? The good times, the tough times, and the everyday mundane. What makes a home? All of these things. Invest wisely. Invest once. Fairco Windows and Doors, transforming homes since 1998. Visit our showrooms in Dean's Grange and Santry or contact us at fairco.ie.
Cupra, Formentor. 2 words causing quite a stir. Because this car stops you in your tracks, even when it's standing still. But that's what it was designed to do. Make a stunning first impression. Turn heads in your own 231 Cupra Formentor. It's ready and just waiting to be driven away today. Take the first step towards your new Formentor. Search Cupra Official.
Waterford is the home of firsts. In 914, it became the first ever city in Ireland when Viking settlers saw it as an opportune location. And they were right. Today, it's seen as one of the best places to live in Ireland, one that's people first. So when you think of your next move, think of a place that's built around living, working, learning, culture, food, and lots more. Think of a place built around you, where you can build a better future. Think Waterford first. Visit waterford2040.com to see why.
University of Galway is the place to connect with free thinkers in a vibrant, creative and exciting campus in the heart of Galway City. With diverse degree programmes driven by industry needs and excellent placement and study abroad opportunities, Galway's the place. Find out why at our undergraduate open day on Saturday the 25th of March. Register now at universityofgalway.ie/open days.
For our biggest savings on furniture, home accessory deals and more, don't miss the home event sale at Easy Living Interiors, online and in store. For stylish sofas and dining sets, collections that are fresh and new. Incredible deals everywhere you look, and our interior design service too. Restyle your home this spring with Easy Living Interiors. Check out our home event sale for amazing value and fast delivery. Easy Living Interiors, Cork, Dublin, Navan, Naas, Wexford, Waterford, Carlow and Drogheda. Sale now on.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Sky. Watch big games from the Women's Super League live on Sky Sports.
This is News Talk.
Doherty makes the underlapping run now, but Smallbone continues. Gives it out to Doherty, puts the cross in towards the back post. Over the goalkeeper, played in by Michael Obafemi. And Evan Ferguson has scored his first goal for the Republic of Ireland senior team from close range. It was an easy tap in, but a brilliantly worked goal again by Ireland.
Evan Ferguson's first goal for his country, putting the Republic of Ireland at that point in the game 2-0 up. Callum O'Dowda had headed Ireland in front early on. Then Ferguson scored after Michael Obafemi pulled the ball back from the end line to set him up. A poacher's finish from the Brighton striker. But since then, Latvia have scored twice. Ireland will be particularly disappointed with the concession of the second goal, and there were 2 or 3 chances to get it cleared. Uldricka's strike before that was one that was very difficult to save just after the half hour, but 2 apiece between Latvia and the Republic of Ireland at the break. Now, the wee County Louth took up a significant portion of what Tommy Rooney, Paddy Andrews and James O'Donoghue have been talking about on the football pod this week. Here we're going to join the lads as they consider what impact Gavin Devlin is having as one of Mickey Hart's coaches in the county.
Just to read something that Kieran Byrne said this week, Gavin Devlin, we call him Horse. what he has done to our players and how he's instilled confidence is second to none. I've had a lot of coaches in my time in Gaelic football and Aussie rules, and Gavin sees the game like no one else. I honestly believe we have one of the best coaches in Ireland. These loud lads are bulletproof at the minute.
Mm-hmm. But even if that's not the case, just the fact that they believe that he's the best coach 100%, is unbelievably powerful. Then if the fact that he is as well is the cherry on top. But once you get that buy-in, no matter what he says in training, we are doing that to the best of our ability, and whatever he says, we're taking it onto the field. Like, that's the buy-in that sometimes coaches, if there's any bit of doubt, they don't get that.
But you look at we Paddy Talley last year. He came on the show, brilliant guy, a brilliant coach, and the impact he had in Kerry as well. The manager, the figurehead is important, obviously. But having guys, and I agree with James, even if Gavin Devlin is a terrible coach, which he's obviously not, but the fact that his players and the team he's working with can say that about him, that just shows the buzz and the atmosphere and the energy around that camp as well. And it's so important getting those decisions right.
That was just a small segment, a taster of the Football Pod. The full pod is available to listen back to now wherever you get your podcast. The Football Pod is in partnership with AIB. They are the proud sponsors of the Football, Hurling and Camogie All-Ireland Club Championships. And check out the hashtag #TheToughest for more. Mick is back with me. We're looking back at the highlights of the first half, and it was all going swimmingly. But a very good point made by Dan McDonnell on this one, Mick. He said Ireland looked really comfortable, but this is maybe where Josh Cullen is missed when it comes to controlling the game after getting to that really good position. It was a bit helter-skelter after Ireland had scored the second goal.
We were talking about it, weren't we, when we were watching the game. The first half was like when it was 2-0 and we were like, God, it doesn't have the sort of usual soul-destroying feeling of an international friendly match where the pace is just so slow, especially after that first 20 minutes, that you kind of just can't bear it and you would talk about anything except for the game. And it didn't have that. We were just sort of noticing, oh, this is kind of frantic, it's good, like, you know, but it does probably just leave Ireland like we didn't control the game in the way that you really should in that scenario, and that's maybe an experience. There's a lot of things tonight that I'm not going to be, you know, I think most of tonight is going to be about taking snippets as opposed to worrying too much about results and all that. You do want to win the game, though. And my biggest concern would be the trend of Latvia's first goal. Like, it's constant. Every Armenia goal in the 72nd minute, or the, you know, Luxembourg goal and whatever. All these, you know, absolute killer goals that have been scored against Stephen Kenny's by so-called lowly teams have all been the same goal, and that's what we conceded again tonight, like, you know. So
it would indicate
just
there's also
giving no closing down, three centre halves standing off, letting a guy walk into space, and funny enough, you know, whacking it into the top corner from 25 yards with no wall, like, isn't the hardest thing to do in football. It looks better than it actually is, you know. Like,
Harsh and Queven Keller in not getting off his feet a bit quicker for that goal.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I thought he looked a little bit leaden-footed. Like, I don't know if he misjudged the flight of the ball or what it was. Obviously, the second goal, there was a lot of bodies in front of him. It's going to look a lot worse, and he'll probably get more criticism for it. But that's one where I think he saw it very, very late.
The defenders,
I think for the first one, I think he could have done a bit better, I have to say. Yeah,
the defenders would be annoyed on the second one that they didn't give very clear instruction to each other to clear it. There was at least two chances to get that ball clear, and then when a very
the
limp
second
header
goal was a mess, Will.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and that's what we don't want to see. That's what you're looking at on for Monday and thinking, you know, if Ireland can't be a bit more decisive and a little bit more, I suppose decisive is the word, and just like taking control of situations. There was 4 or 5 chances to clear it, and really sloppily ball given away on the right wing as well by, I think, Doherty. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but, you know, to start it all off as well. Just all that's kind of poor play. That's one that you would think you switch off when you're 2-1 up right before half time in a friendly against Latvia, that you're not going to do against France. You hope. I'm being generous and charitable here, but that's, you know.
I know. Before we go back to the boys, it does change the complexion a little bit too. Like, if Ireland were 2-1 up,
we haven't talked about Evan Ferguson. We haven't talked about Michael Obafemi looking like the Michael Obafemi of
buzzing around, you
know, the Scotland game that we were all so excited about. And, you know, things haven't gone too well at club level, and you're like, you forget about these guys sometimes. You know, you forget about what they bring. But that looks like a good partnership, and midfield's looked interesting. But yeah, there's definitely a lack of something. Lack of steel.
Yeah, I think
John Egan will come back into the team, and you mentioned Josh Cullen. Josh Cullen's going to be one of Ireland's most important players going forward. There's not going to be an important game that Josh Cullen is fit for that he's not going to play for in the next couple of years. So, he makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I wonder at what point Malumbi potentially comes off here. I think Ogbene will get a run as well. Maybe it might be Ogbene.
There'll be a lot of subs here.
Break up the second half quite a bit, I think.
Yeah. It's disappointing, isn't it? We were kind of feeling good. We were thinking this game doesn't. I think you said something like, "Oh, I know this game doesn't matter, but geez, if we go out and win it 4 or 5-0."
I never thought it was going to go quite to 4 or 5-0, but I thought
you didn't. I'm putting words in your mouth here, but it was 2-0 after 17 minutes.
I was thinking, Mick, if it's a comfortable victory,
should have had a penalty.
Yeah, it sets things up very nicely. That handball incident was interesting. They showed it in the TV just a few moments ago as well. So Obafemi tries to bring the ball down and then kind of scoop it back up into the air. Arm comes across. The question mark is whether the arm could have been moved from that natural angle when it comes up from very close to the defender's arm. I'm not quite sure. But
we could go through. We have to go back here, but we could go through all the chances and all these trivial matters. We haven't once talked about the fact that the jersey, for all the controversy, for all the waffle this week, for all the people looking for problems, and I'm not usually one of them, let's face it, I just happen to be not on that side of things at the moment. Absolutely fine.
And the goalkeeper jersey looks absolutely fine as well.
It looks lovely.
Right, let's go back over to Stuey Byrne and Stephen Doyle. Teams back out for the second half.
Thank you very much, Will. We're just seeing Latvia making a change, and they are bringing on Marcus Oss. Just getting confirmation as to who has come off for them. Looking out at the Irish team, it does look like the same 11 that started the game. Standing over the ball on the halfway line are Evan Ferguson and Will Smallbone. Ferguson, the night of his first international start. Smallbone, the night of his first international game at senior level for Ireland, and he's made a big impact so far. It is 2-2, and Ireland will be hoping to get back in front as quick as possible. It only took them 6 minutes in the first half to get the first goal of the night. Of course, Callum O'Dowda before Evan Ferguson got his goal in the 17th. So Ireland just in possession here and playing from left to right in the second half into the south stand. That is the high stand behind the goal. Latvia playing from right to left in their change strips of white shirts, black socks, and the kit the lads were alluding to before we restarted. Ireland in green shirts, white shorts and green socks. Give you a run through those teams in just a moment as we see Latvia attacking down the right hand side. Savalnieks, who looked a bit of a threat in the first half, whipped in a good cross here to Uldrikis, chests it down the box, then tries to tee it up for Gutkovskis, and his shot is wild and it's over the bar and into the short stand behind the goal. And that was a poor effort from him, and he had a bit of time there to take it on. Uldrikis did really well.
Well, the worry for Ireland would be exactly that. Once Savalnieks bursts down that right hand side, he delivers it in, and it's the big man Uldrikis. He's 1v1 and he's got time to take it down in his chest, and he's even to look to set it up. I think it might have been for Zuyans, was it? He's ballooned it over the bar. There's that lack of quality that we've seen from Latvia. The approach play was good, but I'd be more worried about us and how Latvia are kind of getting at us so easily. I mean, certainly there was a big smack in the face at half time for us to concede those 2 goals, but do you know what, Stephen, I'd rather it happened this evening than it happened on Monday, so we've got to learn lessons quick.
Obafemi attacking down the right hand side. He's put a ball in, tries to bend it across the 6-yard box for Ferguson at the far post, but he's kicked it right into the arms of the goalkeeper Steinbors. Just to confirm that Marcus Oss, the substitute, is on for the centre back Bolidis, so he will take it is a like for like swap. He'll slot in on the right hand side of the 2 centre backs. The skipper Tierna Mordice is the man playing on the left of that back 2 in the centre of the Latvian defence.
I'm not sure what he's seen there, Obafemi. He's found himself in a good position in the corner of the D, gets himself torn, and he's just kind of caressed one across the box, hasn't he, really, more than really kind of drill it across. Ferguson had made a backstick run. I think Smallbone had made a run down the centre, but Obafemi just basically backpasses the goalkeeper in the end.
Ball with Malumbi now over the halfway line, being pulled back by Uldrikis, but he gets away from the big centre forward, gives to Will Smallbone. Will Smallbone tries to play into Obafemi in the box, but it's cleared away by Tierna Mordice. And now it's Uldrikis now dancing through the Irish midfield, but he leaves the ball behind him. Brown picks it up, gets it back to Malumbi outside to Doherty. The Irish crowd now is just starting to find a little bit of their voice. Doherty to Smallbone, that familiar 1-2 between those 2 players down the right hand side, and the ball is being put out of play by the central midfielder Tobers went out to help his left back Sorokines. Doherty throws the ball to Obafemi. Obafemi plays the ball back to Collins. Collins then across to Dara O'Shea, and O'Shea back to Collins. They're on the halfway line here. It's O'Shea once again. Plays the ball forward to Brown. Brown comes inside. He's being tracked here by the number 10, Cognacs. And it's back to Brown, to Collins. Bamadelli on the halfway line. Plays the ball through the midfield to Smallbone. He gives it to Doherty, who's just hugging the touchline here on this near side. Back to Bamadelli, straight pass from him through to Obafemi, lays it off for Smallbone. Smallbone turns away from trouble, gives the ball to Doherty. Doherty tries to whip the cross in. A little bit too late back there, perhaps. Comes off the left back Sorokines and out for a throw into Ireland.
Yeah, it's good feet for Smallbone on that occasion. Really, really tight. Found himself with 2 or 3 Latvians around him. Just a little pivot on the 180. Kind of found one out to Matt Doherty. I'd like to see Ireland kind of taking a few more risks like that, trying to tread passes through into tight areas, get runners coming in from inside to.
Ball thrown to Obafemi's on the byline, gets around one defender and a second, and then he tries to pull it back, but he just showed too much of that to Tobers, who's back helping out with the defensive effort. Obafemi showed good feet there to get it past the second defender, but he's won a corner kick for his team.
Yeah, it's lovely little drag across, wasn't it? Let it go past him, just dragged it across. The defenders coming in, can't give away the Signakis, can't give away the penalty. Ireland haven't done much from corner kicks so far.
So many big players in there as well, but this one is going to be taken by O'Dowd. It's on our near side here, down to the right, and he's going to whip this in with the left boot towards the near post. It's a poor delivery, cleared away there on that near post by the Latvian right winger Cognacs, and the ball's gone all the way back to Creevy and Geller. What did you make of the lad's point at half time, Stewie? I think you were referencing Dan McDonald's tweet about Josh Cullen and just maybe just his, I suppose, stability in midfield there perhaps missing tonight.
Yeah, I'd be a huge fan of Josh Cullen, to be quite honest, and I'd be quite surprised if we don't see him quite soon. I just think he's the, I hate using these terms, he's the glue, but I just think he's the central of everything that we do well. His ball possession is excellent, he sees danger, he plays the game on the shoulder all the time, and I just think he's just a really, really good operator. Although I have to say, we have been guilty of giving away goals like this in the past. There's been 3 or 4 games, in the last couple of years where we have given away these games, and I think Josh has been playing. So I think it's a habit we have of not clearing our lines, not being efficient enough, not being, maybe that word steal. Yeah, it might be a little bit of that as well. When we take leads, we just need to be really careful that we don't concede.
And it's always around the edge of the box, isn't it? Teams know this now. It's almost like they know it, and that's what they're trying to do.
Looking at Latvia tonight, I just think they've been trying to press us, but they haven't really. They've been quite passive. It's almost like their game plan is to let us make mistakes, and we've kind of fallen into that trap a little bit. We've been at fault for both the goals, giving the ball away poorly.
Ferguson to Brown. They're in the Latvian defensive third here. The ball out to O'Dowd on the left. O'Dowd, he's got Savalnieks in front of him. Goes back then to Brown. Brown inside to Ferguson, has a shot, and he hit that with his right boot with real venom. He's after taking out the centre midfielder Cognacs as well, who came in to try and block him, and Ferguson definitely got hurt as he hit that strike. It was vicious from about 25 yards out, well off target, it has to be said, but as you mentioned in the first half, Stewie, he's full of confidence and he'll shoot from anywhere.
Well, he got lucky there just in the fact that Cognacs, once he came to close down the shot, didn't really lunge at it with his foot, more kind of put his body across, and I think Ferguson could have picked up a nasty one there if he had gone in with his foot, but he's let loose, alright, he's got power. And like you say, that confidence is there, that it doesn't matter where it is, he's looking to get goals, and he's okay.
Back on his feet, he's just going to walk that one off. He was grimacing a bit, but it does seem to be all right. It is funny when you're kind of watching him out there, Stewie, you kind of have to remind yourself that he's still 18.
Yeah, and I think it's just so important as well, Stephen, that he's allowed to make mistakes. I mean, it's just such an important part of the game. You don't learn until you make mistakes, and he certainly strikes me as the type of player who learns very, very quickly. Otherwise, he wouldn't be the kind of player that he is at 18. Unless he had that sort of brain, that football brain, that I think he's able to deal with disappointment well, and he's able to learn from those mistakes quite quickly. He's still struggling, Stephen. He's hobbling quite a bit. It's been a couple of minutes now since that incident, and he's moving quite awkwardly.
Yeah, and I wonder, will Stephen Kenny think, I've got to keep him on ice maybe now till Monday for the France game. Stephen Kenny's just in his dugout now. He was on the edge of it there trying to shout out instructions. He's in conversation with his assistant Keith Andrews, and of course John O'Shea, another former Republic of Ireland captain, is on the bench with Stephen Kenny's coaching team now, coming in as a senior coach of the senior team, stepping up from the under-21s where he was working with Jim Crawford. Here's Latvia now on the attack, picking up a loose ball as Uldrikis has a shot from distance again. This time though, Caoimhín Kelleher down to his right, saves that one. Wasn't a huge amount of power in the shot by the time Uldrikis got it away, but Kelleher, I'm sure, will take a bit of confidence from taking that one there. It's Malumbi now on the ball. It's been rolled out to him by Kelleher. He gives it to Brown, still inside the Irish half here, just on the edge of the halfway line. Ball out to O'Dowd on the left, and O'Dowd runs into a bit of traffic there. Scampers back though, gets the ball, gives it back to O'Shea. O'Shea to Brown, Brown back out to O'Dowd, and O'Dowd then back to Dara O'Shea. Dara O'Shea has a look around. Former St Jude's man, of course, played Gaelic football and hurling with the club out in Temple Oak. Hailed Kevin McManaman, the 8-time All-Ireland winner, as his big hero there. Here's Evan Ferguson running on to a pass from Matt Doherty down the right hand side, back inside to Smallbone, back to Ferguson, now to Doherty. Doherty on the edge of the box, going to have a shot with his left foot, and he's trying to bend that ball inside the far post, just couldn't pull it off, and it goes out for a goal kick. But another good move down the right hand side, this time Ferguson involved, but Ireland can't find the net.
Yeah, better from Ireland. Just about to say, we didn't have that sort of zip that we might have had in the first half. Everything in the first half was one touch, two touch, moving the ball quite quickly. We've looked a little bit tentative in this second half. Obviously conceding the 2 goals has kind of knocked us back a little bit in our stride, and weren't taking those risks, weren't moving the ball as quickly as we were in the first half. Everything was 2 touch, 3 touch, but that was different. It all came down this right hand side again. It was probably Ferguson and Smallbone, good little interchange, but Doherty timed his run really, really well, and you can see just kind of picked up the ball 20 yards out, working onto his left foot, trying to guide it into that far left. Obviously he hasn't got a strong left foot, but better from Ireland.
Well, there's a substitute for Latvia on the ball now, and it's their number 19, Raimons Krollis, one of their own young centre forward sensations, who had a good career with his local club Valmiera before making the move to Spezia in Serie A. He'd scored 25 goals in 34 appearances for his former club before getting the move to the Italian side. He's still really breaking in. Just one appearance for Spezia so far, and a man who does have a good looking career ahead of him. But it's a free kick now to Ireland. It's taken quickly down near the Irish goal. Collins plays out to Callum O'Dowd. O'Dowd back to O'Shea, and O'Shea just trotting towards the halfway line, plays the ball down the left over the top for Ferguson. It's not a good ball though, spilled out over the touchline. It will be a throw into Latvia. 57 minutes on the clock. It is Ireland 2, Latvia 2.
The worry for me would be now on that particular occasion, Dara O'Shea's got time on the ball and he's just waiting, and in the end he's just pumped one over the top and it's gone out for a throw. And that'd be a worry to me now. Like, you kind of, once you get into that kind of phase, your decision making is gone. You're kind of making bad decisions. If nothing is on, immediately then move the ball and then wait for something to create itself. And I think we've stopped doing that now. We're kind of idling a little bit on the ball, especially the back three, because we're getting time on the ball. Latvia are congesting that central area and just letting the likes of O'Shea, Collins, Omabamidele just stay on the ball, waiting for us to make mistakes.
O'Shea earning his 17th cap tonight at senior level, of course, was one of the main players for Stephen Kenny when he was the under-21 boss. Played 10 games for him at that level. Has come through now at senior level. The West Brom man, who was captain, of course, many times during this particular championship season. We got Alan Brown captaining Preston North End as well. Plenty of leadership in that Irish team. There is the goalkeeper Steinbors, plays out right for Chairman Ordais. The centre half plays it upfield into Uldrikis, and he's been muscled off the ball and has played back to Caoimhín Kelleher.
took about 2 or 3 attempts, didn't it, on Uldrickus to kind of force him to make a mistake. He's a big unit, isn't he, Stephen's a real handful. Just a big monster of a man. He can certainly move, he can certainly strike them as well when you look at his goal. But there's just again another worrying sign, a ball lumped forward from Latvia, and all of a sudden Uldrickus 1v1 really.
Yeah.
I know it's coming out of the air, but like, he's a big man, he's a big guy, and he can cause you problems.
Yeah, as I mentioned, playing for the Dutch club Cambuur, which is where, of course, Jack Byrne played a bit of time. Shamrock Rovers midfielder. He's had a decent start to his season as he tries to get back and have a fully fit season. I'm sure he'd like to put himself back into the thoughts of Stephen Kenny. Here's O'Shea on the ball now. He's giving it away, and Latvia have the chance to counter-attack. The ball is immediately hit to Uldrickus, and then he tries to play it out to the left wing to the substitute Raymond Krollis, but it's a poor pass from him, and there'll be a huge heavy sigh of relief there from Darragh O'Shea, who almost got his team into a bit of trouble there.
He sent a postcard with that one, didn't he? Really robbed quite easily. Once again, we could have found ourselves in a bit of trouble. We'll better shape about us defensively on that occasion. Had the numbers back, 3v2. It's gone a little bit flat now. We were having a look earlier at Stephen Kenny 5 minutes ago, having a really good conversation with Keith Andrews. We know he wants to change it. He sent the substitutes out. Just need to kind of get a little bit more energy into the team now. Gone a little bit flat, starting to make some silly mistakes.
Well, there's 2 players now in discussion with Keith Andrews. One is Chidozie Ogbene, the other is John Egan, and they're being told now to get their warm-up tops off and get ready to play. Now Keith Andrews is beckoning another Irish player over, and it is the number 25 Mikey Johnson, of course, as he's known, the Celtic winger who's on loan over at Victoria Guimarães, and who of course got his Irish passport sorted out in the last couple of weeks. Having played underage football for Scotland, he's now a Republic of Ireland international, or is about to become one. Small ball now at the byline. He's going to pull this one back, looking for Michael Obafemi, and diving down was Pavel Steinbors to gather that one safely for Latvia. As we just go past the 60-minute mark, if you have just joined us here on Off the Ball, live international football commentary between Ireland and Latvia, it is 2-2. The home team taking the lead through Callum O'Dowda and Evan Ferguson in the 6th and 17th minutes, and then Uldrickus and Jusins got the goals for Latvia in the 33rd and added time at the end of the first half to level the match just before the half-time break, and that is how it stands. It's been a much quieter second half. Ireland were very good attacking in that first half, perhaps not showing as much attacking flair in the second half. Will Smallbone making his debut has had a very, very good game in his green shirt for the first time at senior level. Ball being played through here for Latvia for the winger to run onto here, but Kevin Keller gathers that in the box and rolls it out to Nathan Collins.
You just mentioned it there, Stephen. The crowd look, probably rightly so, a little bit subdued because of the 2 goals we've conceded, and there's a little bit of doubt probably creeping in then into the crowd, and maybe to us as well. Like, and how we should suddenly gone from being 2-0 up to 2-2, and these are the things you've got to work them out.
Here is Ferguson on the ball now, plays it back to Brown. Brown puts his foot in the ball, whips the cross in, and the centre back will head that one away, and there will be a throw in. It was in fact the substitute Marcus Oss, and there will be substitutions made now. So as you might have heard there, Omabamidele goes off. John Egan is on for him in the 63rd minute. Next substitution to be made is Matt Doherty coming off. He's going to be replaced by Chidozie Ogbene, the Rotherham United winger, formerly of Limerick. Boy who grew up in Cork, wearing the number 20 shirt tonight. And he replaces Matt Doherty, who hands the armband to Collins, who's going to bring that over to John Egan. Michael Obafemi is coming off after a good game, you'd have to say, by him. And he's going to be replaced by Mikey Johnson, making his debut for the Republic of Ireland after getting that FIFA international clearance to switch allegiance from Scotland. And a player I know myself, watching Celtic closely, who had a couple of good seasons under Brendan Rodgers, and he's very highly thought of in Glasgow and at Parkhead, and he just had a series of really, really bad injuries, and that knocked him back in his career. He's still just 23 years of age. He's gone on loan in Portugal to Vitória Guimarães, trying to resurrect his career. But this fella definitely has an attacking spark, and it will be interesting to see how he gets on in this Irish team. Throw in for Ireland here into the box to Ogbene. He's looking lively already. Latvia get the ball back though. Played upfield to Uldrikis. Uldrikis heads that down for the substitute, Krollis. And then he lays it off, and then it's back to Tobers, the central midfielder. And the ball worked up the field here, but Mikey Johnson almost wins back possession here for Ireland. Now back to Star O'Shea, gets it to Johnson. Johnson now attacking on the left hand side, he's into the box, has a shot, it comes off the post. Incredible. O'Benny stops it home for the Republic of Ireland. He comes in there to get the rebound, and what an impact by the two substitutes. Star O'Shea wins the ball back for Ireland, gets it forward to Mikey Johnson. He runs into the box and he shows great confidence to take the shot off first, hits off the post, comes back out, and Ogbene is there to finish it off to make it Ireland 3, Latvia 2 in the 65th minute.
Well, what do you say, Stephen? If Johnson picks it up about 40 yards out, it shows real confidence, driving at that Latvian back four, gets a shot away, just hammers off the bar. The keeper was beaten, hammers off the bar, comes back across the goal, and eventually finds its way to Ogbene for the tap in. But it's just energy and pace. All of a sudden, he's struck it really well, hasn't he, Johnson? I think he's thought he scored. Latvia are just shell shocked because the energy's come on, his pace, the quality about that third goal, just what we needed as well.
And Ogbene, like all good forwards, was there in the right place at the right time. It's his fourth goal for Ireland, scoring before in the World Cup qualifiers against Azerbaijan and Luxembourg, and of course in a friendly match against Belgium. That's his fourth goal on the night. He earns his 48th cap. Chidozie Ogbene makes it 3-2 to Ireland with 64 minutes on the clock, and perhaps that will get the crowd going a little bit more for the remainder of this second half.
I have to say, I love the way, you mentioned Johnson. I haven't seen much of him playing at all, but I love the way his intent was to immediately turn and run at real pace, really wonderful close control. He'd all but 40-50 yards to run into, and he had the composure and quality at the end of it to get a strike away, a really good strike, beat the goalkeeper, as we say, just hammers off that near post. Made her own look in the follow-up. Ogbene, good anticipation, real hunger to get on the end of it and get his goal.
He has Ogbene now coming up the right wing here, and he's in a bit of space. He's got one man in front of him, chance to pull it back, but it just comes off Sorokins, who'd run all the way back. He'd been caught out of position. John Egan now on the halfway line, gets that ball to Collins forward to Ogbene. Ogbene, just a ball hit too hard at him, really, couldn't control it. Latvia have it back. It's played out of the back here. Mikey Johnson almost there running onto this here once again, but comes off the Latvian players. He runs in and it goes all the way up the field, and it's played by Uldrikis out to the right hand side for their number 16 Jon Zems, who's come off the bench as well. And Latvia back in possession once more. You have to say at the back as well, it's just looking a little bit more stable with John Egan in there. See Alan Brown tucking back in the right wing back position here as well, as positions have been shuffled around after those substitutions. Matt Doherty of course going off, Callum O'Dowda staying out on that left hand side.
It certainly helps, Stephen, that there's more energy in the pitch. Now we're looking to close Latvia high out the pitch, trying to force them to make mistakes, and you can see you look a little bit shell shocked actually by the turn of pace. Johnson's coming on, Ogbene's coming on, they're harrying, they're closing down, they're bursting the gut to kind of make sure that Latvia don't get any kind of time settled on the ball, and it basically means we're winning the ball higher back up the pitch.
I saw Keith Andrews just on the edge of the dugout there. He had three fingers up in the air shouting over at somebody. I'm not too sure if he was saying he wanted three in midfield, or was it to in fact I think it might have been to Ferguson. Just looking at Evan Ferguson here, he's pushing up on the number 3 Marcus Oss. Evan Ferguson still out there, of course. Here is John Egan on the ball now, deep in his own half. Plays it to Collins on the halfway line. Gets the ball forward to Ogbene. Ogbene tries to play a neat pass around the corner there, but it's intercepted by the Latvian left back Sorokins. Uldrikis comes back deep to win it back for his side, and then plays it back to the centre half, Cherna Mordais, the skipper of Latvia. The ball now with Marcus Oss. Oss switches ball from right to left. And now the ball played forward here to Sorokin's. Sorokin's outside to Chiganics. Chiganics comes inside. He's tackled by Alan Brown. Alan Brown does well to win the ball back. Then gives it to Ferguson. Brown is down holding his ankle. Ferguson goes forward. Ferguson got Johnson to his right, Benny to his left. Plays to Johnson. Johnson back inside to Ferguson when he could have taken a shot. It's cleared away for a corner kick. Another brilliant attacking move involving Mikey Johnson. A nice 1-2 with Evan Ferguson results in a corner. 69 minutes on the clock. It's still Ireland 3, Latvia 2.
Yeah, Siganicks has been booked for that earlier challenge in Alan Brown's alright, but it was a nasty little one, tear right down the back of his calf. He's lucky he didn't cause any more damage than that. That's nasty. And Ireland again looking threatening on the break. And once again, I don't know whether this is probably the 7th or 8th corner we've had. We haven't looked at threatening corners, but Smallbone, I think he's just going to try and ping this one into the penalty area.
You just got to ask me, Stewie, stats, 7 corners. Smallbone whips this one out into the just outside the edge of the box there. John Egan was up with his marker, and it was the number 16, Jon Zems, and it's gone out for another corner kick. So it is 8 corner kicks now for Ireland tonight. Smallbone places the ball. It's going to be an outswinger. He's down to our right on this near side in front of the south stand. Whips that one out, and John Egan was there once again, and the defender, his marker, just did enough to put John Egan off, and it goes out for a goal kick to Latvia. And in fact, John Egan is probably that player we've been missing for centre or for set pieces, as you mentioned earlier.
He just has that knack, Stephen, of sort of reading where the ball's going to land, and he has that ability to kind of rummage his way to the pitch of the ball where it drops, and you know, it's not by accident that on those 2 occasions, 2 deliveries, and he's gotten a head on both of them. He hasn't gotten a clear-cut head on them, but he's certainly got a head on both of them.
So another couple of substitutions for Latvia, and they're really emptying the bench this evening.
And number 17,
Alexis Savalievs is coming on for them.
Alexis Savalievs.
Lanyards for Slavens also coming on for them as well. And the substitutions being made in the 70th minute. Going off is the man who got the second goal, Artur Zuzins, and a nice goal it was from outside the box to make it 2-2 in added time. So just past the 70-minute mark, and it is a goal kick to Latvia. Goalkeeper Steinbors just directing his defence. Johnston, Ferguson and Benny all pressed up. 3 Irish attackers. As they just drop back now, because Steinbors looks like he's going to launch this one. And other players drifting over to the right hand side of the Irish.
Look at Troy Parrott might be coming on, Steve.
Yeah, he's warming up there in the dugout area. Troy Parrott, of course, who has been kept out of the Preston team of late by Tom Cannon, a man on loan from Everton, and who was being picked in the under-21 squad by Jim Crawford. Interesting little side story there. Here's Callum O'Dowda now. Plays the ball inside to O'Shea. O'Shea across to Egan. Egan trotting forward to Ferguson on the edge of the centre circle. He's tackled from behind. Latvia have won it back, and they get forward here. Sorokin's on the left-hand side being watched carefully by O'Benny. Back inside to Tobers, the man who tackled Ferguson to win the ball back. And then it's back to Tiernan Mordice, across to Oss. Oss back to his captain. Plays out to Sorokin's. And Ireland looking a bit more lively now. Every time a Latvian player gets the ball, there's an Irish player pressing up on it. And as you see, Troy Parrott now ready to come on. And as you can hear, Evan Ferguson, the man to be replaced. And there he is, a man I'm sure has a big future in an Irish shirt, scoring his first goal on the night of his first start, replaced by Troy Parrott. And he goes off to a good reception there from the Irish crowd. He gets a pat on the back from his manager Stephen Kenny before he goes off into the dugout, and he looks like a man who's run his socks off tonight. A nice ice bath in the morning, and get him recovered and ready for the challenge of France. You would think he's going to start on Monday night, Stewie.
I would imagine so, absolutely. I'm sure Stephen Kenny would have been worried when we saw him hobbling about 20 minutes ago, but I don't think he could be any more pleased, Stephen, to be quite honest. Evan's gotten his goal, and I think he's looked really sharp, especially in that first half. Looks hungry, looks like he's got loads of goals in him. I think in the second half, to be quite honest, to be fair to him, I just thought that the changes, and there was a lack of options for him as a centre forward to kind of offload to runners that weren't coming off. And so I think maybe Stephen just kind of senses, don't want to get him frustrated, and perfect opportunity just to make the change. And well, you know, good strength and depth we have. We bring Troy Parrott on.
4 goals in 17 international appearances, Troy Parrott. Definitely a different type of option up front for Ireland. Latvia just had a free kick and it's come off the centre back Marcus Oss, and out for a corner kick, or a goal kick I should say, to Ireland. I mentioned Troy Parrott just struggling to get a regular place in that Preston team over the last couple of games, but a decent enough season. 2 goals for them in 24 championship appearances.
All of a sudden, Stephen, the squad looks strong, doesn't it? You know, when you take into consideration that Smallbone and Ferguson haven't really been a part of the senior team. I mean, they look like they've been playing for the last 10 years, to be quite honest with you. Smallbone in particular, been extremely impressive with him so far this evening.
There is Latvia on the attack once more, and they're just being ushered out. Sorokines by Alan Brown, puts it out of play. I suppose maybe the fact that Smallbone as well would have had a bit of playing time with Ferguson at under 21 level as well might have helped.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, but it's just I haven't seen much of a Smallbone at 21 level, but look, he just has such a maturity about how he plays. He's got a lovely temperament. Technically he's excellent. His ball retention, possession is really, really good, and he's involved in the goals, both the goals. And I just felt that little sort of partnership that he formed with Matt Doherty, I think it brought out the best in Matt Doherty, to be quite honest. We mentioned it in the first half that sometimes Matt can seem to play on the edge of games and he's not really much involved, but the first half in this game is probably the most I've seen Matt Doherty involved in an Ireland game for a considerable amount of time.
Yeah, Doherty definitely needs a good inside right alongside him. We've seen that at Tottenham and Wolves if we're to get the best out of him, and Smallbone definitely looks the part out there tonight, and you definitely would think he's given himself a real chance of starting against the French on Monday night. As I mentioned earlier, 20 senior appearances for Southampton, 16 in the Premier League. He is very highly regarded at St Mary's, and he is only on loan at Stoke, and you would think perhaps there's a good chance for him to go back to Southampton and perhaps, well, if they can manage to stay up playing the Premier League once again. But Ireland in possession here, just passing the ball around the back. Caoimhín Keller in possession in the box, gives it to Collins. Collins has moved out to that right side of the back three with John Egan on the pitch now, of course in his usual anchor position with O'Shea on his left. And here we are with another substitution. James McLean coming on for the Republic of Ireland, and he will replace Callum O'Dowda, who scored the first goal for Ireland, but perhaps his game petered out a little bit, Stewie, after that.
Yeah, well, such has been the combination of Matt Doherty and Smallbone that not very much has gone down that left hand side. It was just the way the game worked out. O'Dowda, he certainly put in a good shift, but just need to get energy, more legs on the pitch. McLean is always a good option to bring on. I think we have to be careful as well, Stephen. The game is starting to kind of fall into that pattern again, whereby we're having possession, we're passing it around. Latvia are kind of letting us have it. But there's been a couple of occasions, and that was the case for the 2 goals in the first half, where they just kind of rob us at the right place at the right time. You've got to give them credit for that. That's something that didn't happen by accident. So we've got to be better in these situations when we do have time on the ball, that we don't give it away cheaply.
98 caps for James McLean on the left hand side. What an international career he's had. 11 goals. Could he get another one here to seal the win for Ireland in this international friendly ahead of the big one against Les Bleus this Monday? McLean gets his first touch, plays it inside to Jason Malumbi. Malumbi plays the ball to Alan Brown, who's just in the edge of the Latvia box, comes off his head, then he chests it down for Ogbene, and Ogbene just found a little bit of space to the right of the goal, and he has a shot, comes off the outside of his boot and goes well wide. It will be a goal kick to Latvia.
Yeah, it's a scrappy one, isn't it? It's a good delivery from Malumbi to Alan Brown. By hook or by crook, he kind of gets on the end of it, sort of falls to Ogbene. First touch isn't great, and a little bit overly keen maybe Ogbene to get a second goal of the evening, just sort of snatches at it. The game just kind of falling into that little bit of a lull. This is where I feel Ireland are always a little bit vulnerable coming up on 80 minutes. we need to be better in this, in this situation. See out games, be resilient, professional, communication. Don't be giving away sloppy possession.
Latvia on the attack once again, and there was the substitute Raynars Varslavans who showed too much of that ball and squirted it away to Kelleher. Kelleher plays it out, and it's with James McLean now, almost runs into trouble down at the corner flag over on his left hand side, but gets the ball back to Kelleher. Kelleher rolls that out to Collins. It looks like he's maybe struggling a bit there. I'm not sure if it's an injury or just slightly tired. Gives it to Brown. Brown gets forward. Now so Benny cutting in off the right wing. Plays that ball right across the face of goal. Comes to McLean on the far side. McLean just inside the touchline. Goes outside the defender and then tries to put the cross in, but there's a good block there by Savalnieks. But the ball has gone out for a corner kick to Ireland.
You've got to give credit to the two Latvian fullbacks, I have to say. Sorokins and Savalnieks. Not for the first time they put in last hits tackles. I think Sorokins in particular, left full for Latvia, has been very effective in sort of stopping little passes from Brown or Doherty going around the corner. He's been nicking things, and it's actually the first Latvian goal came as a result of one of the balls he nicked. But again, corner number, I don't know what it is now, but
on the far side, Smallbone whips it in right into the middle of the area there. Comes off a Latvian defender. Darragh O'Shea puts it back up into the box. It's a bit of head tennis going on between a couple of Latvian players, but it comes out to Smallbone outside the box. Plays it to Troy Parrott. Parrott now to Johnston, and they're being driven further away from goal here. Smallbone has it to Collins. Collins out left to Johnston. Johnston now attacking the box once again. Step over, plays the ball to Jason Malumbi. Malumbi into the box to Parrott. Comes off his boot and up in the air, and they managed to get it away to Will Smallbone. Smallbone to McLean. McLean back inside now to Parrott. Parrott tries to play a clever pass into Albene there, but it's cut out by Marcus Austin. He strides forward and then to the substitute Crollis, and he's run that out of play, or into James McLean I should say. It's gone out for a throw into Latvia.
He wasn't pulling out there, was James McLean.
Number 20, Robert Spoljakis being replaced by number 15,
so substitution made by Latvia once again, and it is the number 20, the big man Robert Uldrikis, who got the first goal for them that set them on their way to levelling the match at half time, and he's replaced by Davis Kanyueks. So I'm sure the Irish centre halves won't be sorry to see 6'6" Uldrikis take his tracksuit top and get onto the bench. So we're inside the last 9 minutes of the action here. It is Ireland 3, Latvia 2, and it is a throw into Ireland just near the halfway line to be taken by Brown, and I'm seeing that Jeff Hendricks is just being given instructions by assistant manager Keith Andrews. Will be the next substitute for Ireland, and will be made before this throw is taken. Will Smallbone, the player to go off, and that is a very fine international debut by the Stoke City midfielder, and they are all getting up on their feet around the Aviva Stadium here. The supporters know that was a very, very good performance by Will Smallbone, and I'm sure he'll be very, very delighted earning his first cap with such a good performance like that.
Yeah, I think he's been very impressive. Performance well beyond his years, I would say. He looks like he's been part of the senior international team for the last 5 years, to be quite honest. And you talk about options, Stephen, all of a sudden we have some really, really good options and opportunity to break down the left hand side now.
Malumbi receives the ball. It was Alan Brown, a really clever pass outside the boot.
McLean is furious at Darragh O'Shea that he hasn't put him away down the left. They were away for some reason. He's checked.
That was Darragh O'Shea, and he's just giving the thumbs up to the Derry man.
Still going on about
it. So Alan Brown's got the ball. He's going to throw this. It's just level with the 18-yard box on this near side. Gives to Parrott. Parrott back to Brown, to Parrott, and now it's with Collins. Collins towards the halfway line, gives it to Egan. Plays it forward to Malumbi. Malumbi back to Egan. And then it's back to Nathan Collins. Interestingly, we haven't seen Josh Cullen tonight, so after Stephen Kenny thinking he's played far too many games with Burnley so far, and he's not going to take any chances with him ahead of the France game, here is Mikey Johnston exchanging pass with James McLean. McLean outside to Johnston. Johnston goes around the defender to the byline. He's got another man in front of him. Can he pick out a green shirt? He gets around two defenders, has a shot, and it comes off Marcus Austin over the bar. What a brilliant move by Mikey Johnston. He's got a smile as wide as the River Liffey on his face there. He thought he was going to get his first international goal at the second attempt. He hit the post with the first one. This second one was a brilliant move. He beat 3 defenders and had the shot, and he was so close to scoring.
Oh, that's absolutely out of the top drawer, I have to say. Wonderful bit of feet, little step overs, right, left, little jinky pass, and again shot on target as well. Buffer the defender getting across, blocking it. Was it number 3, was it? Might have been
Marcus Oss, yeah.
Marcus Oss.
He went over Mikey Johnson. It looked like he might take the corner kick. All the supporters over on that side, the Irish supporters, up on their feet. They were cheering him on. They like what they see.
He's a hell of a find, isn't he?
James McLean puts the ball in near post. It's headed away by the substitute Crowless. Mikey Johnson picks up the loose ball, goes back then to Alan Brown. Brown to Collins, and then back to O'Shea. I know Brendan Rodgers was a big fan of Mikey Johnson when he was there at Celtic managing them, and he was the man who really brought him through into that senior Celtic side. He won 3 league titles with them, and 2 doubles in fact. Here is Nathan Collins outside to Brown inside to Malumbi. They're on this right hand side of the pitch as Ireland attack. Chidozie Benny hustled off the ball here by the big number 5, the skipper, Chair Mordice. And it's all the way back to the goalkeeper, Steinbors, on the edge of the box here, just directing traffic.
All of a sudden, Stephen, I mean, we've got 3 or 4 really good options that may not start against France on Monday, but can give you something coming off the bench. And Johnson, he has that, we've seen players come through, for Ireland that have, it's a terrible phrase, but they huff and puff a little bit. They have all the skills, the little throw overs, the leg overs, the pace, and no end product. But this kid looks to certainly have that end product. I mean, he's gotten 2 shots away, both on target. One's caused the goal, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we've got a little gem.
Here is Latvian possession. Jeremy Mordice, the skipper, gets that ball forward, but Ireland won it back here. It's John Egan breaking forward over the halfway line, leaves it there for McLean. McLean coming in off the touchline, gives it to Hendrick. Hendrick just whips a pass out to the right hand side to Alan Brown, who's shifted out there, as I mentioned earlier, from his central midfield position after Matt Doherty went off. Then exchanges passes with Hendrick. Takes a bit of a knock there, Alan Brown, from Crowless, who came in to try and get the ball off him. He's down on his backside now. Here's Mikey Johnson playing a 1-2 with Troy Parrott, and then he's stopped in his tracks by good defending by Savilievis, the substitute. Alan Brown is back on his feet, I can tell you, but he's definitely feeling the after effects of that collision. He's back down, sitting on the turf, and hopefully Alan Brown will be okay, because
he's just stood down the back of his ankle. Whether he's meant it or not now, it's one of them where he's kind of looking the other way. The number 19.
Second time tonight for
it is the second time tonight. Yeah. Siganicus got booked for leaving one on him. It stood down the back of the calf. I'm not sure if it was the left leg in the first incident, but it's the left ankle that he's holding now.
And it still remains to be seen whether he would start against France, Alan Brown. But whether he starts or not, he's going to play some part against the French, and you would like to see him being fit. Of course, the only player from the 26 who had some doubt over his fitness was Adam Ida, who of course was ruled out by his manager at Norwich City, David Wagner, on Saturday after he got injured playing against Huddersfield during the midweek games last week. But Ida was determined to come and report into Irish camp, which he did. The FAI medical staff have assessed him. Stephen Kenny said yesterday that Ida hits off the post, play some part, and against the French he's hopeful anyway. But apart from that, as Stewie was saying before the game, was such a relief to see a fully fit Irish squad going into a big game like the France match. Alan Brown is back on his feet. He's walking off the pitch with the physio, and I don't see anybody stripped down yet ready to replace him as regards to a substitute. So it does look like Alan Brown will come on to see at the last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's one of them, Stephen. He's stood down the back of his ankle, and he certainly caught him. It's kind of, he'll be sore in the morning. Certainly might get the day off tomorrow just to allow himself to recover, but I don't think there's anything seriously wrong.
Cork man, Stewie's made of hard stuff.
Tough as nails, Steve, tough as nails, those boys.
Himself and Queevy, and of course Queevy Keller, both Ringmat Rangers players back in the days. We see Latvia attacking down the right hand side. Collins heads it away on the edge of the 6-yard area, but the referee has seen infringement in the box, so it will be a free kick. And we're going to get the man of the match announcement. And no surprise there, Stewie, it is Will Smallbone who gets the man of the match award from the FAI.
Doesn't surprise me at all, I have to say. Stood out. Certainly looks like he's got a wonderful temperament about him, the young man. Big shot of him come up on screen there. He's quite immodest. It's got to be a foul, surely.
Yeah, and
well deserved, Smallbone.
Sure was. And nice way to mark your international debut, senior international debut, by getting the man of the match award, playing such a big part in what Stephen Kenny will be hoping is a victory tonight for the Republic of Ireland. They are leading by 3-2, heading into the last minutes here at the Aviva Stadium. James McLean about to take a free kick here. It's almost in the position of a corner down to the right hand side on this near side of the pitch. The left foot of McLean is going to swing this one in. Hendrick, O'Shea, Egan all hovering around the back posts. Ogbene, Troy Parrott in the 6-yard area. Mikey Johnson, Malumbi on the edge of the box. McLean swings this one in, and up for it is Darragh O'Shea, but looks like it's been punched away by the goalkeeper.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it looked like it might be a corner kick, but the referee says no, it is a goal kick.
211.
And you might have heard there as well the attendance for tonight, 41,211, and that's not a bad show at all for a friendly match on a Wednesday night against Latvia, Stewie.
Yeah, you'd wonder, did that little downpour, well, not a little downpour, it was a fair old downpour, probably an hour before kick-off. It just kind of shied away. I thought the attendance probably would have been 48. Did they sell 48,000 tickets?
Yeah, there was talk there might have been 48 sold, so 48k sold, but I suppose you might be including season tickets. And as you mentioned, some people, maybe if they're travelling from far and wide and saw the rain and that kind of thing, but 41 for a friendly match. There was a time 10 years ago, Stewie, maybe you play a team like Latvia, and you could be getting 20-25,000.
I mean, I'd say even 3 or 4 years ago it had gone quite flat, but there was good energy about the crowd tonight. I mean, there's a lot to really get the sense that you're heading into that era now where it's really big 6 months for Irish football.
Click on here by Parrott to Johnson. Johnson's into the box. He's going to pull this back for Ogbene, and Ogbene couldn't get there before the two defenders. In fact, it was the skipper, Tiernan Mordice, who got that ball away, and it's out for a throw in. We're into added time here. I didn't see Rob Harvey put the board up just yet, and unless we missed it there in the excitement of the man of the match award and the attendance announcement. But throw in taken by Latvia, played back to the right back, and then they're going to try and play to the middle here. It's Malumbi's nicked it though off the Latvia midfielder's on the edge of the box. He's into the box now. The ball gets caught under his feet. He has to go back outside to McLean. Parrott, Ogbene still in the box there, and then it goes back to Johnson to McLean, and then it's back to Johnson. It's just holding on to possession here on the left hand side. McLean's going to attack towards the byline, pulls the ball back, puts the cross in, headed away by us, and Jeff Hendrick picks it up, gives it to Johnson. Johnson looks so confident out there, a man making his international debut. Collins shows some good feet to get around a midfielder, and then plays it back to O'Shea. O'Shea then goes all the way back to Kelleher, and Kelleher just lobs that ball over the top, looking for Troy Parrott, headed away by us, but McLean gets it back for Ireland. McLean inside to Johnston. Bit of fancy footwork there by McLean. A few cheers from the crowd for the former Derry City man. John Egan now. Ball back with him. And I think Ireland just happy enough to see out the win here. They don't want to be conceding any late equalisers. Kelleher plays a long ball out to Ogbene, out towards the left hand side. The former Limerick man heads that ball on, but it's picked up by us for Latvia. As he lumbers forward and plays the ball out to the right back, Savalnieks. There's a ball pumped up the right hand side here, and James McLean here in a battle, and he's lost out. Latvia got a chance to pull this ball back. Collins sniffs out the danger. It was Jan Zems who beat James McLean around the outside, and that's not good for the Wigan left wing back. But luckily for him, Collins was there to sniff out the danger.
Yeah, I just thought he got a little bit caught up in the scrap a little bit, didn't he, McLean, rather than just dealing with the ball. And that could have been very, very Dangerous for Ireland. Buffer Collins seen the danger. The cut back. Collins just stepped in, big long legs, intercepted it. That could have been a tap in.
Well, it has resulted in a corner kick now for Latvia, who would try to work the ball again down the right hand side, and went out off an Irish shirt. So corner whipped in, and it goes over the heads of Ogbene, and it was bobbling around dangerously there, but it's cleared away by Anna Brown. And there we have it. The full-time whistle has been blown, and Ireland will take the victory from this international friendly, and that's a good way to start off 2023 and heading into a European Championship qualifying campaign. It all started really well for Ireland tonight, who of course started with the 11, with the first senior start for Evan Ferguson. All the hype was around him, and there was a debut as well for Will Smallbone in the starting team. But Smallbone proved a really good attacking threat for Ireland down that right hand side, and was between himself and Matt Doherty working up the chance for Callum O'Dowd to score the opening goal for Ireland in the 6th minute. And then 11 minutes later, Evan Ferguson got his first international goal at senior level, set up by Michael Obafemi, who did well to keep that ball in play. Ferguson stabbed it home from close range, but Ireland, as they have done so many times before, showing their weak around the edge of the box. Uldrich is scoring from 35 yards before an equaliser from Jutines in added time at the end of the first half to make it 2-2 at half time. And then Chidozie Ogbene popping up with a winner after Mikey Johnson making his debut on the left hand side. Showed some really good attacking play. He hit the post. Ogbene was there for the rebound to stab it home, and that made it 3-2 to Ireland, and that's how it finished. Stuey Byrne, just to finish, some good points there I suppose for Ireland, looking at the positives going into the France game. Will Smallbone, Evan Ferguson, they're the two standouts.
Yeah, I'll certainly end on the positives. I'll just say those cracks are still there, those issues that we have when we play against lesser teams. We can mentally, I feel, we just switch off and we stop doing the good things, and we ultimately concede. We've got to do something about that. But I have to say, for me, the big takeaway, there's probably 2 or 3 really good positives, not least Will Smallbone. Thought he was absolutely excellent, fantastic, and all of a sudden we've got a player now that's kind of pushing for contention. I do think that the performance of Matt Doherty came about because of Will Smallbone as well. Evan Ferguson got his goal, so there's a lot to take away, a lot for us to learn from. But you know, I think it was hugely important, Stephen, that we won the game, and we put a smile on everyone's face going away, because when they come back on Monday, we're going to need every 51,000 of them.
We got to mention Mikey Johnson as well. He came off the bench, of course, after getting that FIFA international clearance to switch allegiance to Ireland, and he looks a real threat as well.
Well, look, credit to you. You called it out. I have never seen him play. I have to say, hugely impressive. He looks like he could be anything, to be quite honest with you. But to give him his credit, I think there's end product there as well. You know, with all the little tricks and the intention. He's very, very dynamic, very quick, very direct, which is always a plus to have some player like that. But he looks to me like he's got end product. He has that calmness of thought, decision making at the end of all, you know, at the end, to kind of get a shot away. And the 2 opportunities that he had, both on target, and the first one led to a goal.
And we should mention as well, Andrew Mbembadeli back in the Irish team after 16 months out with all those dreadful injury setbacks, that back injury. Good to see him back in the team as well. John Egan, of course, coming off the bench. So that back three looks nice and settled going into the game against France. And look, Stuey, the last thing I'll say to you, all you want is a win going into that game, just for a bit of confidence. I know there are issues there, but they are stuff that they can talk about as well in the build-up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, tonight was all about winning the game and coming away with, you know, with momentum going into the game on Monday. I think we've achieved that.
Great stuff, Stuey. Well, there we have it. Ireland take a victory into that big Euro 2024 qualifier against France this Monday. It will be live, it will be on Off the Ball. Stuey and myself will be back for that one. But for now, Will, it's finished at the Aviva Stadium. Ireland 3, Latvia 2.
Thanks to Stuey and also to Stephen. More reflections to come on the Republic of Ireland's 3-2 win against Latvia. It is the calendar year off to a winning start for Ireland. When we come back in a moment, Will Smallbone has just been named as the man of the match.
Football on Off the Ball
with Sky, proud partner and supporter of the Republic of Ireland women's national football team.
This is News Talk. Get ready for the cash giveaway that everyone is talking about. News Talk's cash machine is giving away huge amounts of cash every weekday at 3 p.m.
Hello.
Just make sure to answer the phone within 5 rings and give the correct amount.
78,106 euros and 97 cents.
126,031 euro and 75 cents.
You are absolutely correct. It's the chance of a lifetime, so don't miss out. Listen to News Talk to find out how to enter.
Dundeal Motors is home to Ireland's largest range of new and premium used cars from all of Ireland's trusted car dealerships. That's why you'll find Sheehy Motors Volkswagen on Dundeal. Visit Sheehy Motors Volkswagen on Dundeal to find your next car. Dundeal Motors, for Ireland's largest range of new and used cars from all of Ireland's trusted car dealerships. Visit dundeal.ie today.
Fairco Windows and Doors, helping transform homes since 1998. Invest wisely, invest once. Visit fairco.ie.
So I thought we could go to the cinema tonight.
Nice car.
Cheers. Let me get that door.
Oh, doesn't she look lovely? Oh, hi.
That's my mum. Passed my test, but I've no insurance. So she's driving us. I'll just squeeze in the back. So I thought we could go to the cinema tonight.
Nice car.
Cheers. Let me get that door.
With Allianz Young Drivers Insurance, we'll have you on the road in no time. Save 15% when you buy online at allianz.ie. You write it, we underwrite it. Allianz. Allianz plc is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Standard acceptance criteria, policy conditions and a minimum premium apply.
Virgin Media customers, the power to play lies